Now for one of my most, and I'm sure some of your most, anticipated moments at Voices. One of my proudest moments in the history of BOF is when I wrote to Sarah Andelman to ask her if she would stock our first BOF print edition, back when we hadn't yet done anything in print. When she said yes, it felt like a real endorsement, and I'm sure thousands and thousands of other brands feel the same way. Earlier this year, when BOF broke the news that Colette, the famed Parisian concept store, the store that became before all the other concept stores, would be shutting its doors by the end of the year, it was shared by more than 50,000 people on BOF. The industry mourned Colette as it would have mourned one of its great designers. Everyone in the industry wondered, why is Colette closing down? Are they having financial problems? What is actually going on? How did it become such a global sensation? And how does this decision reflect the future of retail in the digital age? I am so pleased to welcome Sarah Andelman, creative director of Colette, daughter of Colette Rousseau, the namesake of the store. And to lead the conversation, I asked my friend Rachel Shechtman, who is an innovative retailer in her own right. Rachel is the founder of Story, whose signature retail media business model generates two revenue streams, one from sponsors like GE, Coty, and American Express, but also from sales that they make for merchandise. So far, there have been 38 stories, and each story involves a complete store redesign and an entirely different assortment. So we're going to have two of fashion's most innovative retailers talk about Colette and the future of retail.
Hi, Sarah. I've had the pleasure of knowing Sarah for a few years, but recently spent some time together having lunch and walking around the shop. And I think one of the things that amazed me, surprised me, was walking through the store with Sarah, which was the first time I had the pleasure of doing that with you. She was walking around, and as we were going through things, she would like move the mannequin. She'd whisper in someone's ear saying, "Can you restock that shelf?" She was making sure something over there was being dusted. And you would have thought they had just opened the store with every little bit of attention to detail, which explains a lot. But why don't you take us back to 20 years ago in a very different retail climate to how it all began and you and your mom?
Well, 20 years ago, in 97, Paris was really boring. Nothing was happening. And department stores were sleeping on old system, and we couldn't find cool products. We were lucky enough to travel and to see something in New York, something in London, not even speaking about Tokyo, and we couldn't understand why we couldn't find this. We could find sometimes a brand, but not the products they would do for other markets, and we just wanted to bring them to Paris. It also came from the location itself. We moved in this building. I was still student in art history at École du Louvre. My mom had her own business. We moved in this building, and it was really empty neighborhood. It was not the luxury part of the Faubourg Saint-Honoré or the village from Léal. It was no man's land. And at the ground floor, there was this empty space. We would walk by every day. And from the day we asked, could we visit it, we immediately had the vision to bring together products we liked, to have a restaurant we could have lunch all day long, which was difficult in Paris back in the days, to have a gallery space, and to really bring together fashion, but also design, beauty, music, books, to have a nice mix of products.
So you basically have the most coveted shelf space in the world, it's probably safe to say. So when you're looking for new brands or new products, what is it that catches your attention and what goes through your mind when you're curating a story or finding a new designer or an item that you want to feature?
I think I'll keep a very open mind. I look everywhere around me, and it's a question to have something new that I don't know yet, and which will complete what we already have. And it's like I often compare the shop to a magazine with the windows being the cover of the magazine, and we are a weekly magazine changing everything every week, and we change our assortment to create our little story to because it's maybe only makes sense for me, but everything complete each other, and of course brand products with quality, with meaning, and with a nice people behind the brand as well.
So talk a little bit about you and your mom, and you've worked together from the beginning, and kind of who does what, and...
I'm very, very lucky to work with my mom. She gave me so much freedom to take care of the buying part, the creative aspect of to run the shop, and my mom is really taking care of the team and she commits in every little detail to make sure the shop looks great. And I know you work also with your sister.
I do.
And,
I do.
I don't know if that's how you...
Yeah, so I always say 85% of the time it's amazing, and 15% of the time it's World War III. But no, all kidding aside, my sister Jenny and we're 4 generations of retail. It's in our blood. I walked my first trade show for my bat mitzvah favors wholesale, and have been addicted to shopping ever since. But I think, there's a trust and a level of dedication and detail, and we have very different skill sets. So she does all the ops-related projects, and I focus more on the creative side. But it's great, it's fun.
Yeah.
And we both still talk you still talk to your mom, and I still talk to my sister, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
So let's talk about what everyone's waiting for, is talking about a bit the decision to close Colette. And I think, people think, well, why doesn't the website stay up? Or why didn't you sell the business? Or why didn't you franchise it? So can you just share a little bit as to the why behind it?
I think because we like a happy end. With 20 years now, it has been a long run. And 20 years ago, we closed, we moved in, we did a little pop-up shop on Place du Marché Saint-Honoré, and we closed for a big renovation by Katayama Studio. We felt it was time, even if we change every week. After 10 years, we wanted to change the light, something more solid. And now we are 10 years later, and again, I think everything has changed so much around us. It was either to radically change everything, either to just turn the page and write a new chapter.
One question I'm actually curious about is, since it's been 20 years, what was the decision, why only one store?
We are here every day. We commit so much ourselves in this shop. We dedicate everything. We are passionate about what we are doing, and we realized very early we could not open other shops. First, it was really about this building for Paris. When I travel, I don't think other cities need a shop like us. They already have great retailers, and we prefer to focus on reinventing ourselves, bringing talents in the shop to make it liveful, and we prefer to always make it better in this location instead of expanding, and it becomes not anymore our little baby.
Was, in thinking about, I'm sure everyone saw the collaboration recently with Pharrell and Chanel, and here you are weeks before closing and people flying in from around the world and sleeping outside. Was merchandise collaborations a part of the business from the beginning, and if not, or when they started, what is your approach to them?
From the beginning, we didn't think about collaboration. We just wanted to bring products we couldn't find, mix them with products we could find, and it was the fact together how it would create our little own puzzle. And I always think about our customer, and not only one customer. We want to touch many different people, all age and all kind of background, and I always want to surprise them when they come to the shop. And it's true, slowly by slowly, with collaboration, I've managed to have exclusivity, even if it was not
goal, but it was important to find at Colette products you couldn't find anywhere else. And slowly by slowly, collaboration became very natural. Putting together a brand with an artist or in all kind of different ways. And I think it was mostly something I love to do and I will continue to do. And it became part of Colette's identity. Yeah.
Can I tell them what we're doing? So Sarah, when we were together at the shop, she's never sold Colette product outside of Colette. So we'll be featuring some of that moments before the store closes, which is an honor and exciting that we get to do that. When you're thinking about the future of retail and how much things have changed, not just because of technology, but just new store formats and everything, where do you think it's going and what excites you?
I think it's you should tell us, because you are part of this future of retail with your shop changing itself regularly. And I think nowadays just multi-brand shops, it's very challenging because you have, especially in the fashion industry, where you have to fight to get good deliveries before Fashion Week. And the brands want to be in the multi-brand shop, but they also push their own shops, which is normal. So I think you have to work hard to have a great curating of products and to explore around you, to not limit yourself. And yes, I think with your model, when you told me, I was, wow, this is great, this is amazing to both change regularly your assortment of products, plus to have someone to support the story.
I'm just curious, since we're over the pond, how many people have heard of Story?
Yes, of course.
So the way that it works is we do change every, if you're the weekly magazine, I guess I'm the monthly or every couple months, but the entire store changes and the merchandise that's in there is connected to the narrative. So if it's wellness story, there might be a heart rate monitor and outdoor voices leggings and healthy food, and you might do Pilates on the weekend or show up for a panel on the future of healthcare. But I think it was, I have lots of random theories and can't sit still long enough to go get an MBA. So the store has kind of become a lab for trying new tactics and doing different things. So it's been fun. So speaking of newness, what's next with you?
Like I said, I would like to continue to work with brands I love and respect, with artists I've developed a nice relationship, to continue to find young talents and just to develop specific projects, nice collaboration, taking some time to think about them and to do it behind the scene. I won't have any more shop, but to be able to express, to give space for this project in many different ways with a global vision.
Can you tell us what it's going to be called? Is it going to be called anything?
It will be called Just an Idea, because I think it's what I'm going to do, to give ideas and to let them be reinterpreted and to let them free.
So since so much of what you have done has come from just an idea, are there certain things or places, environments, experiences that inspire you and inform your creative pursuits?
I'm always on the hunt to discover something I don't know yet, and I'm fascinated by brands, designers who manage to always surprise us, because I think it's not easy. Everybody works in a rhythm, it goes fast, and we love it on the moment, and then it's already something else. And I love to discover all kind of creative talents, from fashion, from design industry, from even music, publishing, photography, and they just give us a new inspiration and a new vision, and I would like to give them support to exist and be recognized for what they do, because I think it must be so difficult to create nowadays. And there is every day I receive and I see some great ideas, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing, nobody has think of this before. And
one of the things that inspired me most recently was, has anyone, I'm also curious if this, heard of ComplexCon? Okay. Well, you'll hear about BeautyCon in a little while, but so it's let's call it a festival meets a trade show for consumers. You can buy things, you can eat food, you can listen to music, you can hear panels. And I know you did, an installation and a little mini pop-up, so to speak, there. But it was really fascinating because it was 48 hours and then it was gone. It was in a massive convention center, but I think these, pop-ups aren't novelties really anymore. They're part of our retail vernacular, and so I was just blown away by this event and seeing you in the middle of Nike and Puma and Adidas and these kind of unexpected moments was quite exciting. But I guess I'll end with, when I was in Paris 2 days ago, because I obviously had to go see Colette before it closed. And I was leaving, and this doesn't really happen to me, but I had like all these knots in my stomach, and I started taking all these pictures of the outside of the store, and I don't post a lot personally. And I was like, the 5-year-old in me kept on saying like, but why? And when I thought about the emotion of it, it was that, whenever I think of Colette or I've been in Colette, it's surprising, it's thought-provoking, it's entertaining, right? These are emotions you describe friends, right? You come home from a cocktail party or you meet someone, and that's how you describe a friend. And so the fact that this store evokes such emotion, and I think I speak for many people when I say that it's kind of saying goodbye to one friend, and I think we're all on the edge of our seat for what you, Sarah, now that Colette is on the side, to see what you do next. So thank you for sharing your story, and we're all,
Thank you,
congratulations.
Rachel. Thank you for running this program. Thank you.